the modern nation state. Modern nation state, meaning the Egyptian state, or in that context, does not stand in contradiction with the implementation of Islamic Sharia. Because Islam is the highest authority in Muslim lands, or so it should be. So the state, nation state, doesn't stand in contradiction with the implementation of the Islamic Sharia. Because Islam is the highest authority in Muslim lands, or so it should be, with its mechanism, regulation, laws, and system, the modern state. If it contains no contradiction to the founding and indubitable principle, Islam does not preclude the possibility of being developed, this same state, so that we can benefit from it, achieving ourselves progress and advancement, in the sense that we can turn it into. So this is the reformist strategy, or whatever it's worth. So that's the Ikhwan al-Muslimun strategy. So I mean, if you are critiquing Ikhwan al-Muslimun or Jamaat Islami, that's the legitimate critique, in the sense that they are no longer seeking revolution. They have basically adopted Pakistani state as the de jure, if not de facto, Islamic states. Egypt and Pakistan, for Ikhwan al-Muslimin, Jamaat Islami, represent respectively, are de jure, if not de facto, Islamic states. But that's because they have transformed themselves into reform movements rather than revolutionary movement. But to infer from that that's the only Islamic perspective on this is wrong, because Iranian experience in Afghanistan, belies this. We have the second group of ulama and Islamists who don't want to reform, or who say that this state, the modern state, stands in contradiction with the Islamic state and Islam, because this state, this Pakistani state and this Egyptian state, is part and parcel of the imperialist system, and Islam is in contradiction with the imperialist system, because imperialism is based on capitalism. Islam totally rejects capitalism. It's the exact opposite of capitalism. But if the reformist ulama and Islamists say that no, we can capture Egyptian state, for example, through election or whatever, and turn it into Islamic state, we say you can't do that, because you will create a Islamist Egyptian state, or Pakistani Islamist state, which will keep the state structures of the imperialist funded and imperialist subservient Egyptian and Pakistani states, and will ultimately absorb Islam as a tool of imperialism. But from this, we don't conclude that Egyptian state, Islamic state, Pakistani states should not be our concern. They should be our concern, but our concern should be to create Islamic state within Egyptian state, Islamic state within Pakistani states, which will eventually overcome and destroy these existing states, and instead create and erect the sovereignty of the Islamic states, which we have been developing alongside these states, or which we would have been developing alongside these states. So, in a sense, we would say Hallaq's, if this is his criticism of Ikhwan Islami, is legitimate, but the intentions of the criticisms are not legitimate, in the sense that it ignores the other alternative, which focuses on this state, but in order to overcome it, not in order to reform it. Okay. So note that developed here should be taken